Hey folks, Todd at Freedom Fighter Tactical. It is time for the latest status of business and inventory update. Let's get started right now. Hey folks, Todd at Freedom Fighter Tactical. I hope you all are doing great. I haven't done a video in a few weeks, and that's because if I don't have a ton to talk about for a status of business and video, status of business and inventory update video, I don't want to just send you an email and have you watch something that has no information, that has any value to it. So I try to respect your time and only do a video when there's something to talk about. And even today, I just feel like there's not a ton going on. There are some things that are getting low on inventory. We'll get into that in a minute. And I've got a couple projects in the works. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you're notified of future videos. Give it a thumbs up if you'd like, and leave a comment if you'd like. I love comments. I love to respond and hear from you guys. Phone numbers on the website, phone numbers here on the video. Also, if you're new to Benelli M4s and you're thinking about getting one, I've got my series that's free. Call at the website buyyourm4.com. And God, I haven't done a video in a while, so I can't even remember what I talk about. And buyyourm4.com, so you sign up, and it's a whole video series about what to look for, what to think about when it comes to buying an M4 shotgun, a Benelli M4 shotgun, that is. And then the follow-up to that is at www.buildyourm4.com, and I walk you through all the things that you could consider for this gun, because a lot of people don't know what you can do, what you can't do. Usually a shotgun is the third style of gun people get into. They either get into rifles or handguns first. Most of the time it's a handgun. And then they progress into rifles, and they do that for a long time. And when they get bored with it, a lot of people, when they get bored with it, they get into shotguns. And people realize that shotguns are a whole lot of fun. I mean, they're one of the best, most fun things to shoot. And, you know, when you get tired of your ARs, particularly, shotguns are the thing. Anyway, again, you can call me at the number on the website. You can text me there. You can email me. However you want to contact me. I am available every day of the year. I'm available almost all day. If I don't respond to you, just hang tight. I will if you call me and I don't answer, which is very, very rare. Leave me a message and I'll call you back. So anyway, what's going on at Freedom Fighter? I'm working on a few videos. I've just been so darn busy with a number of things that I haven't been able to do videos, but I've got a really kick butt video that I've worked on. I just need to film it. It's all about collapsible stocks. I am constantly bombarded with questions about the differences between the version, the 70085, which is historically the one that we've seen on the Benelli M4. It's the one that most people like. It's the one that's not ugly. It's really the one that people want. And then there's the 70132, which is it's not a new version because this thing's been around for a long time, but it's a different version. And the recoil tubes that the stocks sit on are what dictate how many positions it has. So when people say it's a 3-position stock or a 5-position stock, that's only technically true so long as the stock is sitting on a 3-position tube or a 5-position tube. If you had a 10-position tube, it would now be a 10-position stock. So if the stock is not on a firearm, attached to a firearm, then it's just a stock. And once it goes on the firearm, it now is a 1-position, a 3-position, a 5-position, a 6-position. I think that's all there is. I don't think anybody's done any other positions other than 1, 3, 5, and 6. But the parts are not interchangeable between the 70132 version and the 70085 version, except for the internals of the recoil tube. After that, nothing else is interchangeable. So I'm going to do a comprehensive video on that. It's going to take me quite a bit of time, but it's going to be the definitive video on sorting out the confusion. And when I get questions, I'll be able to send people to this video to answer them. I also have had a couple of talks. I'm going to do another video on 922R. I spent considerable time with an ATF agent on the phone and a couple of different attorneys talking about 922R. Folks out there are getting a lot of bad information, and people that are being told that it's only applies to importers. That's just simply not true. It applies to everybody. The law is very clear about it. Actually, it's ironic. It's the one thing that's clear about the law. The law is vague and ambiguous and confusing and stupid and probably very difficult to prosecute. It's probably very difficult to prove up. Probably it's just a tricky law, but it's this little nagging thing that's out there. And I was actually was attempting to have, I have a contact who is a senior agent within the ATF, and I was hoping to have him come on video or do a podcast, do something, do audio where, you know, he kind of laid it out. And he said that nobody within the agency is going to do anything like that. So that's unfortunate, but I have, most years I've gone to the SHOT Show, I've gone to the ATF booth and talked to them and asked them all the same questions every year, and they answer them in the same way. And it's a tricky law, and everybody acknowledges that the odds of one being prosecuted, two, a successful prosecution are pretty low. You're probably already in trouble for other things, and this might be something that you bargain away. And they use it as leverage to get you to concede on something before they move on to the things they really want to get you on. This is all me just guessing, though, and them just guessing. But it's a law that's out there, and being that I am a licensed attorney, and I do live by ethics, whether it's the ethics that attorneys are expected to live by and the code that they're expected, or my personal code. And I decided, you know, almost 20 years ago that if I was going to sell parts to individuals, knowing that there is this thing out there, it doesn't matter how strong it is, how weak it is, how vague it is, how ambiguous it is, whether it would be prosecuted, whether it wouldn't be prosecuted, whether they would be successful in their prosecution, whether they wouldn't be. None of that matters. What matters is I'm a licensed attorney in the state of California. And for openers, I think it would be unethical for me, even though I'm not practicing law and I'm not giving you legal advice, I don't think it's ethical for me to sell parts that have even a remote chance of liability to you, and me not inform you that that is a possibility and how to fix it. So professionally, you know, and as a, you know, and then my personal code, I think it's deceitful to know this is out there and sell you guys parts and not give you at least a chance to know that this law is out there and to conclude how you want to proceed with what you're doing. So, you know, my hope was to get an ATF agent on the phone or on video, and we could talk about it and kind of put it to rest. It'll never get put to rest because we've got people out there who are absolute trolls who they hate the law, they hate anyone who talks about it, they hate me for informing my customer. They say I fear-monger, never fear-mongered anybody. If anybody walked away from a conversation with me or one of my videos scared of 922R, they're just flat out lying to you, or they probably shouldn't own guns because they're too feeble to listen to somebody talk to them rationally and reasonably and inform, give them an education on what they can expect as a potential issue if they build a gun a certain way. So anyway, I make no apologies for 20 years of talking about it and giving people the answers. I believe that when you buy anything, information is power. Information is key to making an informed decision on what you're buying and how you conduct yourself. And, you know, so I'm going to think of another way to do it. I've got, you know, maybe I'm going to send another letter to the ATF. I've got dozens of letters that people have shared with me through the years, and I could just retract any personal information and, you know, post those. But I wrote letters back in the 2000s, and I can't find them. So I was hoping to get that. So that's a project I'm working on, is a video about 922R. So I've got the collapsible stock video, and then I've got another collapsible stock video. Well, I've got two, actually. I'm going to clear up the Gen 1, Gen 2 mess that people on the internet have created. There is no Gen 2. I think I talked about this in my last video. There is no Gen 2. If there is a Gen 2, I mean, I talked to a Benelli rep 2 weeks ago. He said if there's a Gen 2, it's going to be called the M5. It's not going to be called an M4 Gen 2. What everyone's calling a Gen 2 is strictly a law enforcement model, and it's just like the law enforcement model with the 70085 stock and the full magazine tube. It is Benelli's intent, and it's even their requirement on dealers to only sell those to law enforcement. Of course, we know that that doesn't happen. We know that dealers sell them to consumers from time to time. They're not always easy to find. But imagine that a dealer buys, they outfit a police department somewhere, and in order to get the price break, they need to buy 20. But the department only wants 18, and now they've got 2 left over. What do they do with those? They end up selling them to the public somewhere. That's what's happening with the Gen 2. It's simply a law enforcement model that's being sold to a consumer. It's not supposed to be. They don't make that model in a one-position stock. That would be the consumer model if there was a consumer model of that particular shotgun. So it's not intended that consumers are getting the oversized bolt release button and the oversized charging handle and the rail system. That's not part of their consumer market. That's part of their law enforcement market. And I'm going to do a video that addresses this specifically, so when people do a search, they find that video. When people search for this and see status of business and inventory update, they're not going to go into it thinking they're going to get answers on the difference between Gen 1 and Gen 2. So let me turn down the TV. We've got a Brian De Palma movie that's getting a little loud here. So I'm going to do that video, and then I've got another one, and it's the final video that I'm working on, and it is how to attach a QD to the 70132, what you guys are calling the Gen 2 version. That stock, I've seen pictures with a QD attached to it, but I've never really known how it was being attached. I didn't ask. I don't participate on the forums. I don't do any of that stuff, but it was either on YouTube or on a forum. I don't remember where it was, but I reached out to one of the guys at Benelli who does a lot of the outfitting of their firearms, and he told me exactly what needs to be done to attach a QD so it's solid and it's dependable and that you guys can do it. So I'm going to do a video of that. I don't know that I'm going to do an install video, but I'm going to do I'm going to show you what and where and how and what you need so that you can do the job. I don't know that I'll actually do it because I don't have a way to film me at a tool bench. In fact, I don't even have a tool bench. Most of the work I do is here at my desk, and it's not set up right now to do that kind of a video. So anyway, sorry for this to be a lengthy video, but I wanted to tune you into some things that I'm working on that are coming. So if you get an email in your inbox and you see a title other than status of business and inventory update, and it's one of these subjects, you might want to tune in and see what's going on. As far as parts at Freedom Fighter, I'm shipping every day. I've got free shipping on orders over $500. And that's been nice. A lot of people have been taking advantage of that. I've got a standard ship rate of $16.50 on all other packages. So I do require a signature on every box, so you are getting your money's worth out of that, even if you're buying a small item. And I get it. Some people buy something, they buy a $12 pin, and it's $16.50 to ship it. You know what? It is what it is. When you're a one-man show and you've got, a couple hundred orders in a week and you're spending a lot of your time packing and shipping, you don't really have time to give everybody a different kind of shipping. Everybody gets priority with a signature. It makes it so easy and fast. I can get the job done quickly. And if that is something where you don't want to pay $16.50 to ship a $12 part, then go to Midwest, go wherever. And I said, I get it. Sometimes they're sold out and then I'm the only one that's got it and you don't like the shipping. You know what? It's a one-man show, folks. If I had people, I'd be able to offer you different things, but I can't give everybody their desire on that. It's just got to be something that allows me to get packages out the door and quickly. I ship every day. And if you place an order, some people see their order shipped same day, and if not, they see it shipped the next day. So I try to be Amazon fast for you guys. And, people have come to expect that, actually. Amazon has trained us to be very impatient with anybody who's not lightning fast. And I decided years ago that, because I used to only ship twice a week, I decided years ago that I didn't want to field constant emails and questions and phone calls. When's my stuff going to ship when it's only been 7 or 8 hours after they ordered? So I just would rather get the ball moving and get it going and not have that phone or email ever ringing to ask me that question. And I like it, actually. I think it brings me great happiness to know that you guys order something and it's on the way within minutes of your order in many cases. So it's not always easy, but it's one of my hallmarks. Okay, I'm going to be lightning around because I know this video's gone kind of long. Magazine tubes getting low, titanium and steel both getting low. I'm working on the next batches. The titanium is the one where if we sell out, it takes forever to get them back in. The steel, not as big of a hassle unless it's the NP3. The NP3, and I will sell out of those over the next probably 8 weeks. Those take also a long time. It's that coating where it takes forever on those. Collapsible stock's getting low, recoil tubes getting low. You guys have been just going through my recoil tubes. 6th position I'm going to be out of here real soon for probably months. Oversized bolt release buttons getting low. I can't even source parts lately to make those. Some of my charging handles are getting low. Meprolight, I'm hoping to get those rolling real soon, but that communication has just been with the company that brings those in. It's just been tough. I don't know what's going on over there. But anyway, all you first responders out there, be safe out in the field, please. We want you to come home safe every night to your family, your loved ones. We appreciate your sacrifices and your putting yourself in jeopardy in our communities, keeping them safe. And all of those people out there in the at the federal level, out there in uniform, we greatly appreciate and love you at Freedom Fighter. So long as you are operating in a constitutional fashion, you have 100% support from me and my family, and we love you and appreciate you. If you're taking shortcuts and doing things in a less than constitutional fashion, not being mindful of the rights of the people that you're serving, we would rather you just go ahead and retire. But anyway, there's always bad ones out there. In anything you do, there's good, there's bad. It is what it is. But we're in tricky times. We're in tricky times. Sometimes you're watching people do things that they're being told to do that they know are wrong, and it's and I get why they can't resist. But I mean, some of these things sometimes out there are just, it's not good. Hopefully things get sorted out over the next 3.5 years. Folks, I'm losing my voice. I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you for being part of the family. Call me anytime. I'm always around to help or answer questions. Take care. Be safe.